inside of this box is not a chair. No, the postman did have a laugh when it turned up. No, it is though about as well packaged as what is in here could possibly be. In this box should be a real life actual Victorian era Hoover, which has been bought by somebody else. It has come here first for us to have a look, do a video. Thank you very much for the person that bought this for allowing us to do that. But our main goal is to see just how deadly dangerous this very old, very old vintage Hoover vacuum cleaner has become. So let's have a look, see how the heck we're going to unstitch this lovely box and see what's inside. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and proper Hoover chums. How are you today? Yes, we have a proper Hoover in here today. Not quite sure of the model number yet. I'm not completely au fait with being able to look at a vintage machine and go, oh, it's that. And yeah, half of it's in here. The other part is on here, which is a box for some sort of microphone stand, I think, whatever. Very fancy that is. I can't even rip the tape. Cut. Yeah. Those of you who are familiar with vintage Hoover machines will know that the handle doesn't split on, obviously, juniors and seniors of the 50s and onwards did. However, the old ones didn't. So here is an handle for an vintage vacuum cleaner. It's not bad actually. Paintwork is all right. Ooh, it has the original bag clip. Very nice indeed. Whether it would have been a drawstring, yeah, it would have had the old bag, I don't know what it's called, bit of fabric. We've seen it before on my machines, but this one hasn't. This is sadly pretty common. This is the pre-war rubber and it just doesn't last. And yeah, those screws aren't original. This flex isn't original, but actually that's not a bad thing because yeah, all the wiring on this is what I'm a bit worried about really. They can be terrible. Also, look, we have a post office branded MK Tough plug. Yeah, in the UK, that was the post office. They're still going. They're being absolutely ripped apart through the courts for 10 years worth of putting innocent postmasters in prison. But yeah, they had their own branded plugs in 80s, 90s. Who knows? I don't know how to date it, although it's got shielded pins. So it's not going to be that old because they only came in at a certain point. Let's have a look at what's in here. I can feel the bag. Yeah, everything else is in here. If you could split the handle down, this box wouldn't be far off being okay. But yet it can't be done well enough. Ta-da! A proper Hoover with a proper original bag as well. Wow, very nice indeed. $7.50, oh, nearly $7.25. I might be able to date it. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we have ourselves a lovely Hoover. $7.25. Can we take this bag off so it's not flapping around? Yeah, we can. Oh, look, very used. That's probably good because it means it works. And there's a bit of tape covering what I imagine is a hole, but it's pretty good tape. We'll leave that for now. I don't know how far we're going with this project, really. Oh, okay, well, it did work. Obviously, hasn't picked up any dust for a while, so that's interesting. Oh dear, yeah. The machine itself probably runs absolutely fine. What I'm most paranoid about is the wiring. If we pop this little clip off here and get this wiring out and then carefully look, we can see that it is the original Indian rubber, VIR. There is a name for it. And the reason I'm coming here especially is because this runs under here normally, roughly like that. And obviously when you pick it up, if this bit, and I've seen this with bare wires, and I still don't fully trust it, but they seem fine. to be completely honest with you. That's not too bad at all, although down there seems a little bit iffy. I don't know. We might have to take the motor out in a minute and see what it's like. Oh, we need to clean all this up as well, although probably not with this. Oh, are you going to undo without force? No, you're not. So we need a screwdriver to jimmy that off. There may be a screwdriver to take these off, but I don't think we will, because we can take the, oh gosh, we can take the belt off, which is, oh wow, very, very perished indeed. That shouldn't be that stiff, so I think we need to take the motor off anyway to work out what is going on, and I want to vacuum all of this up before I get completely filthy. So let us clean up and get some tools. No. Okie dokie, all cleaned up with our modern vacuum cleaner from the 1980s. So this will be 1920s, late 20s, early 30s. I'm pretty sure this herald's from. Haven't looked yet. Oh, you're going to just come up nicely? Oh, no, of course you're not. Problem with these, they get all fitted up. It feels awful, but you've got to, there it goes, there's one side. You could go break the crusty seal from it not having been apart for years. I don't know this machine's history, I'll be honest. I didn't even look at the eBay link. The person just said, could I have a look at this? Showed a 700 series. And I went, yeah, we can look at that, because all the coffee cans are pretty similar. So that's not too bad. Oh, this bit doesn't have to come off to do just a brush roll. I think this has just never been apart. There we go. That's how it should work. First off, the brush strips aren't bad. They're not particularly stiff. They're not particularly soft. Bearings are really good. This belt is utterly cream crackered, but that's not our primary concern. It's probably still a better belt than any modern one that you can buy. Sadly, grumble, grumble, grumble. So with that done, we have these 3 screws here. Because that motor has a stiff spot, we can check out some more wiring a bit easier, and we can get what's obviously going to be a load of crud and rubbish out of things. So yeah, 3 screws, which should then relieve our motor, he says, with it not popping up. Oh, has it been stuck down? Why are you not coming off? I don't want to scratch it now. This has probably not been off in a long, long while. Ah, there's a joint. Oh dear. Yeah. Let me do some prying and gentle poking. I levered it off the back of the height control knob, and that broke the stiction from this utterly petrified rubber seal. Oh wow, yeah, that's where all of our dirt was, look. Yeah, this thing, I didn't think it would have been refurbished, certainly not for the price that was paid, but it's obviously not been properly used in a while. So yeah, here is our motor. It's spinning a little bit better now. There's a load of stuff wrapped around the belt spindle, which we'll get off later. So yeah, there is our power plant or motor. I'm sure it would have been called something quite weird back in the day, because yeah, this would all be new technology. Certainly for us in the UK, all these fancy American machines coming over, oh, would have been a revelation, I'd imagine, compared to a broom. Oh, yeah, come on. I've got to be very careful with these screws and not to scratch the top. Come on. I hate slotted screws. Although I probably could have brought a smaller screwdriver with me. Oh, come on. How you all doing today? Doing well? There we go. Excellent. And yeah, now we can look at our greasy, disgusting motor. Just put a bit of light on the situation. Yeah, there is essentially a Hoover Senior motor that just grew up a little bit. What I want to do is, again, check all of this wiring, which we can now see a bit more. And quite frankly, it's not crumbling away on my fingers. I'm rubbing that quite well. And that's right. That's not too bad. That's okay, really. I think we might get away with it. If we open this plug, that might give us a bit more of an indication as to the state of the wiring, because we can now pull this back ever so slightly and do the bend test. And look, immediately it starts to crack. And I mean, you probably would have gotten away with that if, you know, you would have been a bit careful. But again, your hand goes here. It's not going to take much. The only reason that hasn't cracked before, yeah, that one's though. This wire's not too bad until you do it, or the cloth just disintegrates. So yes, we are going to need to do a mild rewire. Nothing too major, really. The other thing we should probably give a quick check on is the internal wires on the handle. Right, what's underneath door number 2? Now, as I suspected, for some reason, they must have either used different wires, or the fact that they haven't spent the last 100 years plus covered in grease and oil and crud from the motor means that, yeah, these wires are okay. They bend, they don't snap, they just survive better. So that's excellent. I don't think we need to worry about the handle too much. The wiring job seems to be okay, bar some random crosshead screw stuffed into the handle. That's not the only thing I found. I was setting up for this scene, and look, there's some writing, no HY, and then, where is it? There's like LE7. I don't quite know why it's been written on. Luckily, it's been written on inside and not outside. There's nothing marked on these, but that's quite cool, isn't it? Someone's obviously done some work on it in the past. Oh, look how bent over these fan blades are. I mean, I doubt an entire Dyson would last 100 years, so we can't knock it for having a couple of chips off of the fan. There is still some flatty, spotty thing, but that's actually getting a little bit better now. I think we should smash all this back together. Be a little bit careful of these wires. You're not going to touch a thing on the machine, bar the switch on the handle, and I'll plug it in to my RCD plug. In fact, while we're on about safety, let's just check that this hasn't been wired up. Who knows what? Nah, yeah, very good indeed. Oh, it's been earthed. Not up here it hasn't, which is good, because these machines weren't earthed from the factory. I don't want us to have another issue like that Hoover Constellation that was earthed and ended up tripping things out. That would be annoying. So, I don't think I'm going to die, so let's make it into a Hoover once more and see how well it hoovers. Right, we're back together looking like an Hoover. I have no idea if it's on or off, but this socket up here should be safe. Hey. Right, not shocking you. The bag doesn't sit correctly. Yeah. Hey, this belt's doing all right. It is, however, running a bit slow. Cool, look how much that bag holds here. In fact, a lot of that might be down to this bag. Hang on, if we take that off and then hold it out the way. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that bag is just so filthy. hasn't been cleaned for so many decades that it is just killing all of the airflow. But the machine runs, drives, works mostly okay. It's just suffering from old age. And even then, it's only the wiring. I mean, when they made these, I doubt they'd think some idiot would be sat here playing with one in 2024, let alone a load of people on something that they couldn't comprehend watching it. So that's cool, isn't it? Next steps, I don't know, to be honest. We're going to leave this video here as an unboxing and first look. Oh, as long as I don't step on, snap this nice plug. I'm going to go back to the owner and see just how far he wants to go. We're probably definitely going to have the motor apart to do the wiring, which means that the motor will get a service because it's apart. I don't know. Does he want it refurbished? Does he want the bag washing? Don't know. We're going to ask. So stay tuned for the next episode of this Hoover 725, whatever it may be. And what do you think? Is this something that you do to vintage, proper vintage, not pretend fake vintage, like I sometimes joke about? Is this something that you do to all of these? Or, I mean, in America, they might use different wiring, so it might not be as bad. But yeah, in the UK, I've seen far more in far worse state than this. So do be careful if you pick one of these beautiful coffee cans up from a flea market or a car boot sale or someone's loft. Do be careful. So until the next time, I am this heroic vintage Hoover. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.